welcome to your mental highness. I am Dr. Janae Lomaski. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, better known as Dr. J, and I'm here for you to feel less stressed, less angry, less emotional, less crazy, less of a hot mess, with hopefully lifting you up, empowering you, and making you feel better than ever before. So if you're angry, mad, sad, anxious, I've got you. Today on the show, which is so exciting for me, I have my next guest, and I've been wanting her to come on for such a long time. I'm going to tell you why. Because she's a really, really special soul. She is super amazing person. She has the most incredible light within her. Anyone that knows her feels her love immediately. She's literally a light being, if you know what I mean. And she's going to lift up this show and she's going to tell you her own real life stories. So this is real stories, real people, real trauma, real anxiety, real depression, and real healing. So we're going to have it today. But why is she so special? I didn't even get to that. So before I introduce you, I wrote down a couple of things about you. So she is so special because, like I said, she's a light being and she has beautiful energy. She's got a generous heart that anyone who knows her feels her love. And then she's also been through it and continues to work through that self-love journey with blood, sweat, and tears. And I know it because I've experienced it with her. So she's also very special because she is so resilient, like you are as well. So pay attention because this is for you as well. And all the questions and all the things I say today, I want you, my royal listeners, to take it in and feel your own special love and your own uniqueness and your own power and your own light because you have it, okay? So we're going to bring it out in here today. She has persevered. She has a desire to get better, to be better, to feel better. And that's so, so important. So for this episode on Your Mental Highness, because she's been doing it and working through it, we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about all of it. And you know what I'm talking about? Sex, drugs, alcohol, relationships, and love. This is Jamie.
Hi.
Jamie, welcome to the show, Your Mental Highness.
Well, I am so receiving and receptive of all your beautiful words, and I'm so grateful that I get to sit right beside such a amazing and talented woman. So thank you for your words.
Aww.
I am just
all true
taking it all in.
Well, I'm so excited that you're here and that we get to discuss all this great stuff. Like I said, sex, drugs, alcohol, relationships, love, all that stuff.
My favorite things.
So, my royal listeners, get ready for a great show. The first thing what we're going to do is, this show is BYOC. Bring your own crown. So we've got a lot of crowns on the table right now. My usual, which is, what is this crystal I got stuck on it?
That looks like an aura.
I knew she'd know.
Like an aura that's bonded to a quartz.
Quartz.
Yes.
This is it. Quartz.
Yes.
And it's pink.
Yeah, so it hits your chakra in a different way.
We have my white crystal. That looks like quartz too, which I ordered because I needed some cleansing myself.
Yes.
Clearing and cleansing. And then we have lots of crystals here. Purple crystals, crystals. And then the Party City, I always mention this little, like 99-cent one that you can go out because you need to have a crown.
Your inner child.
Exactly.
Your inner child right there.
But today, Jamie brought her own crown. So I would love for you to put on your crown.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow. Okay. So how do we describe that crown? So
like yourself, I also have the quartz. So this is just normal quartz with a moon in the middle. I'm a moon child.
She's a moon child.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes, and it came to me. It was gifted through a inspirational person that,
Beautiful.
handed it over. Yeah.
So I'm going to put on my crown now.
What's she
Actually,
gonna pick?
why don't you choose the crown that you want me to wear during this? And I hope my royal listeners, you're putting on your crown too. Choose one. I hope you have more than one, actually. So choose one you feel like wearing today while we talk about sex, drugs, alcohol, relationships, and love.
And if you don't have one, just energetically, just put that on your head as you hold your head up high today.
Yes, but I want you to get one.
Yeah. Listen to her. So I'm choosing this one. This one just feels like diva, Miss Boss, sparkly. She also, you can't see this, but she wore her sparkly shoes for me.
I did. My sparkly shoes. So if you watch other than Spotify and Apple, I am watching my sparkly shoes.
This was definitely
amazing.
Needed. Yes.
Okay, so I'm wearing, what is this, crystals and purple or pink? Okay, so now we are going to start the show. Okay, everybody ready? Get comfy. Here we go. Can I just dive right in?
Please do.
Okay, because Jamie told me that I can just let it all hang out.
I'm an open book.
Okay. Well, we're going to start then with the first thing is, as you wear your crown on your head right now, what does it mean to you and how do you feel? So take a minute or a second.
Well, when I put this on, I embody my higher self. I feel connected to her. I feel the confidence. The first time I actually wore this, I did my first sound bowl healing for about 30 people. So when I put this on, I connect to that environment where I was able to heal and I felt just more myself than ever. So when
it's got a healing.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sound bowl, I should have asked you to bring your sound bowl. We could have done
next
one
time.
of that. Next time we're doing sound bowls. So if anyone doesn't know what that is, can you just explain a little what a sound bowl is?
Yeah, so we have chakras and energy field in our body, and we have different frequencies that are sometimes blocked. Like if you right now, sometimes I'm working on my heart, we're talking about love today. So that sound bowl is connected to that frequency that's able to kind of like unblock through sound and vibration.
I love it. The sound and vibration. I love that. Maybe we'll do some sound and vibration in a little
love
while.
that.
I think we're going to need to. So if you can't tell, if you're not watching us like on YouTube, but if you're on like Spotify again or Apple Music or anything like that, we are not crossing our legs. And it is so hard for me. I told you, like, I broke my New Year's resolution wearing black. I'm half black today and half white. But I definitely do not want to cross my legs. Jamie is doing such a good job of it. So every time my impulse to do it, I don't know if I'm helping you or you helping me.
We're helping each other.
We're helping each other. It's mutual. Yes. So I'm watching in her beautiful white outfit. You have to see, she looks so angelic and not crossing her legs. So we're not blocking any energy here. Okay, we're going to try and see if we can last the whole episode without...
Oh, we can last, baby.
Okay. Well, we're going to get right into it then. So here is a question for you, and you can always ask me to elaborate if you don't. Okay. What is one of your kinks? I know. Just going right in there. Just going right in there. And think about that, my royal listeners, because we all have a kink, okay? What is one of your kinks?
Ooh, one of my kinks is dominance. So,
bravo. Okay.
And that can be a multitude of things. That could be in the bedroom or also like taking charge of a situation. Sometimes I'm a little indecisive. So when I have dominance shown to me, I like a little bit submissive action.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What a great kink. And I was going to share with everyone today, one of my kinks is like wearing high heels and like just high heels. Okay. So that wasn't, it's a kink, right?
100%,
Okay. Yeah. I'm really into the high heels, stilettos, any heel. Like I love heels. So yeah, that's mine. But dominance, I love that because I think that works really well for you, especially as you just said, psychologically speaking, if you're indecisive or feeling, not as assertive, you going into that role of dominance probably helps you to assert your needs and wants and desires. Okay.
You got that right.
I got that right. So I got that one wrong. So we're going to go to a different question. I was going to do something else, but let's go to, what is something you found out about yourself that shocked you? And Jamie has not heard these questions, so just so you know, this is all right off the cuff.
It's nothing really shocks me. So I'm like, that makes sense, actually. When something...
Or maybe it shocked you before and doesn't shock you anymore.
I guess what found out that has shocked me, that... Well, I guess I just found out about my dyslexia. So that kind of shocked me, knowing that all the things that I was thinking was actually wrong.
Right.
Yeah. So it shocked me because there was so many thoughts behind that one thought that I was like, it didn't shock maybe my current self, but it shocked a past version of myself.
And I hope you mean like it shocked you actually in a good way.
In a great way.
Okay.
It wasn't shock. Like when you said that, it was more just like an aha.
Yeah.
My shock is more like aha. Like it was a settling feeling rather than shock is like, oh, you scared me around the corner.
Right.
It felt like a light bulb of shock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it gives some like relief in saying, well, this has been difficult for me all my life. And oh my gosh, I have dyslexia.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I say, and my royal listeners, you probably know this, but I self-diagnosed that I have ADD, right? And Jamie laughs because,
I feel that.
but nobody ever diagnosed me. But knowing that I know this is something that is a challenge for me is so helpful rather than thinking, how does everyone else do it?
Yeah.
Right? So the dyslexia, same thing, like, how does everyone else do it? Oh, I have dyslexia.
Yeah. Feel
Now
less
it makes
alone.
sense.
I was actually able to help like a couple of friends come to their own realization about it. And we like kind of were like, I don't use like the word stupid, but that was definitely a label that people put on themselves when we should be, using compassion and realizing like, hey, there's maybe a little bit more under the surface that.
And that is another very special quality about you. You are so compassionate. So I have to add that.
I love that word.
But we're going to move to another question, and let's see how you feel about this. How do you communicate your needs and desires?
To who is the real question?
Well, you know what? It can be to anyone, so
Yeah.
you can choose whatever relationship or whatever person. So give an example of how you would communicate your needs and desires, because so many of us do not communicate our needs and desires. We communicate every freaking thing else, but not our needs and desires.
Yeah. Well, what I've kind of realized is that I communicate different to different like people. So like my intimate relationships, I sometimes have a harder time communicating, but to literally anybody else, I'm able to communicate like just through questioning myself. I'm able to kind of open up myself or just question the other person and kind of start a dialogue in seeing if there's a safe space to even communicate.
So you mentioned in your relationships, that's where your challenge is. So of course, that's what I want to know.
I knew that's what I wanted to know.
I want to go back there. So when you're not communicating your needs, wants, and desires in your relationships, what are you doing instead?
Well, coming to you.
Coming to you. And I'm saying, why aren't you communicating?
Well, now I write down my feelings. I make sure that I'm processing them. I do a lot of self-reflection before I'm able to bring it to that person, just so I feel just safe within myself. Like, is this a overreaction, or is this something that like is not even about them? Is it about me?
And it's interesting that you're saying, is it safe? Because we're talking about your needs and your desires. And if we have to say, is it safe to express it? Is it the person that you want to express? Maybe that's not safe.
100%.
Okay. And that's why we have to make adjustments in our relationships, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And that's where the self-reflection comes in, right?
Yes.
Where I'm like, I don't know if I should be even saying this. That's a lot of energy to put out. I need to heal myself and protect myself. But I think now moving forward, I'm putting that in the past. And now that I have my crown on.
Now that you have your crown
now that I have my crown on.
You're doing our crown. Feeling that royalty, feeling the queen in you come out.
And I feel it more so in my body now. I listen to my body, and that's when I know when to communicate.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's about asserting yourself. It's about say what you mean and mean what you say. Especially when it's your desires or wants or needs. I would want someone, and I'm sure you would, Jamie, want them to be direct and let us know what you need, what you want, what you desire.
Yeah.
And if that's not mutual, well, then we got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next. So how about, I'm going to go into what is a romantic gesture that means a lot to you?
Well, I'm a fan of the small things.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I like that.
I love a note being left.
Sweet.
I also love nature. So if you like see something out in nature and you pick it for me, I really, really love that. And also just the thought, I think that goes back just the thoughtfulness.
Yes.
Right? Like you're thinking ahead of something that could surprise me, make me laugh. Like,
yes. And I think something so romantic is knowing Jamie and the person who is doing something romantic knows you enough to do something that is like your thing that you like. To me, that is so romantic when someone gets it right. You know, like for me, buy me a great heels.
yeah, and wear nothing. Wear nothing.
Just buy me some red bottoms or buy me some Valentinos. I don't know, something like that. No, they're not sponsors, but I love their shoes. I love their shoes. But for Jamie, it's the other thing. And I do like notes and cute things too.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to go on to another question, which, I'm going to ask you, what have you always wanted to try in your intimate life, but you haven't expressed?
There's nothing I haven't expressed, but
is there something you wanted to try?
yeah,
Okay.
I would love to be tied up.
Okay.
I bondage.
Bondage.
Yeah.
You did say bondage.
Yeah,
You're going back to
definitely.
the bondage.
I like a little bit of bondage and role play. Like,
Role play is
yeah,
fun.
like I would love to role play and just not, be myself, but a little version of myself that, is maybe a server or,
Oh, that's fabulous.
or,
I like that.
something like that.
Very
But
cool.
I think, what's yours?
Oh, what is mine? That never expressed. Let me think. I've expressed a lot as well. I was going to say like exhibitionism, but I've done that. So
Whoa, let's go back. What's that?
Like outdoors, having intimacy outdoors. I shouldn't say it's sexual intimacy, like outdoors. I lived in this apartment complex. It was on my balcony. It happened to be a beautiful evening. How could you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be nice.
So you've never been outdoors, like in a park?
Yes, in a park, on a golf course.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
On like the 9th hole.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Those were my days.
You were the 10th.
Yeah, yes. It was excellent. Those are my days. So I don't know if there's something I haven't expressed, really. But let me think about it and come back to it, because I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about yours. I want you to think about what you haven't expressed but you would like. And I want you to think about all the questions that we're talking about today. Let's get really intimate, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just do this. Let's get close, okay? Let's get close. I'm going to ask you another question that's also kind of intimate, which is, what is your drug of choice and why?
So I know that we have talked about you kind of making the like separation between alcohol and drugs. And so
so what's your choice? Alcohol, drugs, both? And what have you tried? What do you like? Why? Or maybe nothing?
Well, I've tried a lot.
I know.
I've never done.
It actually amazes me, because if you see her, she is this beautiful light being that looks so pure, so to speak. And wow, you definitely dabbled.
I've dabbled, but I'd say like when you bring up that drug of choice, I like to be intentional. And my drug, when I hear that, it's something that's not intentional, like your choice.
Okay.
Something
so it's
that,
spur of the moment, whatever you feel like just comes up.
No, I think like the intentions behind like why I'm doing this certain drugs. I love mushrooms. That would be like that's like who I am. I feel like I am a mushroom.
Yes.
I feel closer to the ground. I feel closer to myself. I get to feel my body,
And I know how much you love mushrooms. I was just going to say, no, aside from like knowing, because we talked about it in like session, but I know that you like mushrooms, but also you have a very huge talent and skill of art, which I didn't say in the beginning, but Jamie is an artist. And one of the things that she did for some time was making these mushrooms. And I believe they were from porcelain. Is it
polymer?
What is it?
Polymer.
Yeah, what she said. Yeah. And they're fabulous. And she was doing that for some time. But, it's a hard business when you are one person and you're making them. But I can see her talent and the love she had in mushrooms, because one was better than the next. They were so cool, from small to medium to huge. Incredible mushrooms. So
mushrooms connect us all. So I feel like they definitely speak to me. They're like a symbol of just the earth. And I think, talking about, having a little bit of a business, I think when you have a passion and you mix that with finances, sometimes the passion diminishes and you kind of pull what you need from that and kind of toss it into the next thing. But yeah, I would say that mushrooms are my choice, and then the choice that I don't like would be the alcohol.
Why not? Not that I'm advocating for it, but I'm just curious. So, I'm curious all the time is how it makes people feel. Like, so how do mushrooms make you feel? It's more about that. It's not about choosing. And that's why I asked the question about drugs or alcohol, because when we do it, if we do, it gives us a feeling that obviously we're not getting, or we feel we're not getting on a natural state. So how does the mushroom, what is that experience for you?
I honestly think that I can connect to that feeling on the day-to-day. And so when I do take mushrooms, it just helps me feel just more of that feeling that I feel, when the sun touches you for the first time during the day, when the breeze hits you, when every color just feels just inspiring. Like, I do feel like I get that. Sometimes, like the day to day, the week to week, it maybe gets a little blurry, and just to kind of not like going crazy, but a little microdose helps you kind of just realign, like, this is what I already feel within myself.
Right.
Let me cleanse that last week or the week before. This is who you are. Like, I can tap into this whenever.
And I bet, though, you also, because I know you're a very spiritual being, I bet you can make yourself we can all alter the way we experience things with our own mind and body, like just getting high. And I think I said that in my very first episode. I want to help you feel high, not necessarily doing drugs or alcohol, not to depend on that, but you can do it yourself through meditation and mindfulness and breathing and all these things that really do shift our awareness into something even more.
Yeah.
And I know because I've seen you do it.
So, when sometimes we forget those things, but when you come back to self and use those, you realize that my drug of choice is breathing.
Absolutely. So tell me, though, the one with alcohol. Tell me about
that's
that.
Not my choice.
That's not
but it
your
chose
choice.
Me.
So what is the experience with alcohol then for you?
Yeah. So that channels definitely a different version of myself.
Is that where she comes out with a pitchfork?
Just the pitchfork.
Like just the heels. Okay.
No, I mean, that's, I think on the day to day, there's things that maybe we are not processing or pushing down, or something that we just don't even know that's there. And I think that, different versions of ourselves, like, we are channeled through addiction, and I think we all have our own little touch
We're all
of that.
on the line, on the psychopathology line of addiction. It's just mild, moderate, and severe. You have to keep that in check and make sure you're not moving up the line.
Yeah, and whether that's like social media or addiction of people, or just, my channeled through alcohol. And not to say that I was doing it like every day, but I was definitely looking forward to those days where I was. And it's the excessive amount, once I start, I may till the break of dawn,
Wow,
I like to start with 2 shots of tequila.
Oh, that's a start.
That's a start.
Okay, so we're talking about small, tiny little doses, baby spoons, Yeah. Okay. So don't start with 2 shots of tequila, because
unless you want to have fun.
So I know, though, for me, like, different alcohol, if I have a glass of wine versus a shot of tequila, I'm different. And I think we have to be so careful. I guess that's why the mushrooms, it suits you, because that's like, I've never done that, so I don't know what that feels like. But I was someone, what is it called? Not roofied. No, not roofied, thank goodness. But
dosed?
Many years ago, I took like a toke of what I thought was a joint, and it was very minty taste. It literally once. All the friends were in the car, and we were going to a club, and they pressured me as soon as we got out of the car, and I can't blame them, honestly, because I could have said no, but I didn't. And that one, like, toke, and I knew it was something different, and it was minty, and what I learned, it was angel dust. I'm dating myself. I don't even know if that's like popular anymore.
No, that sounds fun.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And I remember my girlfriend was online with me, Dana and Lila, and these are friends from New York that I grew up with. And I remember saying the first thing they said to me, and all of a sudden I'm hearing them in echoes. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I said, wow. So it was echoes, and then it literally went from there. I won't give you my, like, that'll be like another whole episode on all the times that by accident I had a drug in me that I didn't know, and I had like a reaction. So yes. So you have to be very careful. Put your hands over your drinks. Because you don't want.
You
I've
take
had
it
many
everywhere
with you. Yes, even to the bathroom.
Yes,
absolutely to the bathroom.
And if you don't want to take it anywhere, chug it.
Oh, there you go. Chug it. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not advocating drugs or alcohol on the show.
No.
We're just being real.
Yeah. And what's real is actually today is my 4 months of being sober.
Wow.
From no alcohol. So,
Yay. Okay. This is so special for me to hear because I do know, all kidding aside, that Jamie really does not pair well with alcohol, so to speak. And for her to have the commitment and the perseverance and the willpower to not use alcohol is definitely something to be proud of.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you for it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. And it takes you time, and it's not just a linear thing. And it's sometimes you have to really get to the bottom, and see yourself in different angles and perspectives, and allow people to be there for you.
Yes.
And be there for yourself, and I've found out how to, now I can go out and be out with everybody, and, go to bars and stuff. And it's like, I get to channel the version of myself that, okay, I want to be a little crazy and be on the dance floor. Like, I can do that. And I know
without the alcohol.
Without the alcohol. And I know that some people, like, need that to kind of get going. And maybe for you, it's something else that helps you get going. But, I pretend like I have a drink. And I'm just like, everybody else is around me and getting drunk.
Why don't we pretend that we're high? Why can't we
pretend?
Pretend that we're high.
I'm like,
I like this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I pretend.
Which brings me to another quick story, and I don't know if you've done this either, because again, I may be dating myself, but there were friends. We were in a place in Brooklyn, New York called Roller Palace. Oh my God. It was roller skating. So that's like back in the day. Okay, roller skating. And everyone there was taking, I think it was mescaline. You don't know.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
I want to say it's acid, and they're like these smiley faces, and they would put it on your tongue. So they gave me one in my hands, and I faked it. Okay. Never did it. So for those of you, my friends, that night, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I just didn't do it, but I acted like I did. But I watched them, and I was like, whoa, like, good thing. Because I definitely have, like, drugs is also about control and not wanting control. Sometimes you don't want control, right? It's about inhibitions. But I knew that didn't work for me. So anyway, that night I didn't do it. So
Yeah. And I know. And for me, like, it's about losing control and to not, like, I want, I'm a fan of attention. And so I realized that, like, that was a channel of me being kind of crazy and loud, and, and that was my way of, like, oh, I don't have to think about it. I just am. I'm getting attention, and you never know what attention you're really getting.
Right.
And that's why you have to be so intentional about your intentions.
Yes.
And so, it's now I'm like, I surround myself with the attention that I deserve and I demand. And so it's nice having control over, like, who gets that. You've showed me, like, I stand on my stage, and when I'm drunk, I fall off my stage.
Okay. So 4 months sobriety, we're going to stay with that and keep going. But now that you said attention, how do you know when do you feel that you've had enough attention that you feel satisfied?
I think,
or have you not?
I think, like, it depends with who, like, I think out in the world, when my energy fueled, like my battery kind of feels like, okay, I'm a talker. I love to talk and I love to yap. And so when I feel a little bit more like, and I'm also a listener, but when I feel like I don't have anything to provide for the conversation, and I'm almost like, I think now is a good time for me to step back because I don't have like the energy. Like I'm protecting my own energy.
But what does attention feel like when it comes to you?
Feels good. It feels like that sense of belonging. I feel seen.
Because it's not a bad thing, and that's why I wanted you to open up a little bit more on that, because it's okay to want attention. It's when we never feel we get enough that it becomes a problem.
And that's where I got to differentiate, like in my sobriety and reflecting off of like that I almost felt like I wasn't getting enough because I wasn't giving enough to myself, like I had to redefine what that meant for me. And like that I was just whoever wanted to talk and whoever wanted to give me attention, I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And in my sobriety, I was like, oh, like this attention doesn't feel as good. Like
you have more clarity and you're more in your body, and I think we're more present, and we sometimes have to work through some pain and difficult feelings, but we have more clarity, which is kind of nice. So attention is good. It's not good if you need it all the time or you never feel satiated, like it's never satisfying, because then we're talking about a personality disorder, which we're going to do on another episode. But think about, at least guess which personality disorder that is. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm not going to make you wait till the next episode.
I'm like, now I kind of want to know.
It's called histrionic. And histrionic personality disorder is the one where we consider that person, it doesn't matter who you are, it's a drama queen. Everything's very dramatic and everything is attention seeking. And that's where you don't want to be, because actually they suffer. And that's why they constantly need that. So. Yeah. But I'm going to ask you another question. So we know that you like mushrooms. What's going on a little something else? What is your biggest pet peeve? Those are like little annoyances that can drive us up a wall. Think about yours, my royal listeners. What is your pet peeve? I want to know Jamie's pet peeve.
I don't like when people are eating and I'm not eating because I don't like the sound of it. Yeah,
that's one of mine. I have it on my list.
And it's very just like dramatic. And
how about when someone's on the phone with you and they're eating?
Oh God, or just like a video of people eating. I don't know how people like do those videos of just like, let's eat together. I'm like, oh.
Or what about chewing gum loud?
Yeah, just the sound cracking of it gum really gets me.
You have any other pet peeves?
People throwing trash out their windows or just anywhere. That gets me. If you throw trash out your window, please just wait until you get to a trash can.
Yes.
And
people lack impulse control.
Yes,
they want to throw it out the window.
Is our friend.
I have to share one because I'm wondering if you can relate and if you guys can also relate. It's when toilet paper. Don't leave the roll empty or just with one piece. It is so annoying. Like, please change it, right? Yeah. Change the roll.
Well, I mean, if there is no other roll, that one little piece.
This is true. You see, you just helped me.
Lifesaver.
You just turned that around for me. You know what? That actually may save us one day. That's true.
It saves me more times than I'd like to admit.
Okay, something gross, but I have to ask you. Have you ever used without the paper, the toilet roll when it had no more paper on it and used it.
Of course.
Of course. Same.
Yes. What girl hasn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially, you're at a man's house, they don't have.
You guys, we need extra toilet paper at your house. We do.
Yes.
Yes, so we're using literally that cardboard piece so we don't, all over the place. Yeah, these are good.
Confidently.
Okay. No, this is really good stuff right here. And it's important information, okay? What is your pet peeve sexually? Is there something that drives you up a wall that someone may or may not do sexually? That is a pet peeve.
God, pet peeve. I don't think it's like a pet peeve. I would say more of like an ick sometimes.
Okay, what's an ick?
An ick is like where someone does something and you're just like, that kind of grosses you out a little, or like is like slightly unattractive.
Like what? We want to know.
I think when people just like, can I kiss you? Like, just kiss me. If we're...
You want to be taken. Just take me.
Well, that goes back to the dominance thing. If we're already in the vibe of, like, we're, being sexual towards each other, like, just take me. Like...
Just take me.
Just take me.
Okay. I have to share...
Please do.
That... And again, it depends. But don't bite if I'm not ready to be... bit.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
100%. When do you feel ready?
Well, when you're in the heat of it, and then all the adrenaline and all of the good chemicals are going and sexual hormones are already there, then we can work in the biting. But don't just come out and bite. Guys, that's not cool. That's ouch.
Yeah, yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
I'm good for a bite.
Okay, so that's just me because Jamie's okay with the bite.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's
anytime.
the beginning, the middle, or the end.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bite her, not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what about... Oh, I have another pet peeve. Curbs. I can't stand going over curbs. I'm sorry. That just...
Hot girls go over curbs.
Don't we?
Hot girls go over curbs.
I know you all
Sound
go
off in
over
the comments.
curbs. All my listeners, you go over curbs.
Yeah.
I know you do. Because we're thinking about other stuff, and that curb is... It's too
It's in
out.
my way.
Yeah,
it's in my way. It's in my way.
I like that. It's in the way. Okay. What is your biggest fear in a relationship?
My biggest fear in a relationship is... I think them like leaving. Yeah, like
even if they're like not good.
Yeah.
So it's the little like abandonment or rejection.
Yeah.
I think that's very common for many people to feel that way. I think we all have a sense of that. But again, it's on the continuum. Is that mildly affect you, moderately, or severely? So for you, it's that. Now, will you hold on to a relationship even if it's toxic? I like know the answer already. So like this, I have to tell you, of course I know. Instead of feeling that, abandonment or rejection or that loss.
Yeah. If like, if I feel, like I think that when you have my heart, I definitely will stay around.
Even if it's toxic?
Because it could be untoxic.
So we're going to... Okay. Well,
it could possibly...
If it can be
see
untoxic,
the night of
I
day.
like that. Okay, like we have an untoxic pill or something.
I mean, I definitely feel like I have left in moments when it felt toxic.
Okay.
I have a good way.
That's good.
Yeah.
So when it is toxic, if you can leave at those moments, at least not to stay there.
When when you know. Let's get real. When you have those questioning, or you're sitting with yourself and you have to even ask if it's toxic. It's toxic, and I think that we're all like a work in progress. And I think for me, it's all me finding my own thresholds.
Yes.
You know, like
that's a great word, threshold. You have to know your threshold and make sure you don't set your threshold too high where you get hurt, injured. And maybe we've all been there, but now that you know, lower that threshold.
Yeah. And so again, in my sobriety, I think like I'm learning to lower my threshold, and I used alcohol to higher it and cause chaos and make the focus about me instead of the task at hand.
Yes.
Yeah. And so like removing that, like that blockage that only fogged my thresholds, you know, now I'm able to see like, okay, where am I really? Where is my emotional stability within myself?
And you can hear that Jamie's done a lot of work on herself in her self-care and self-love journey. So you have really been through it. I mean, through the sex and the love and the drugs and the toxic relationships, you have really come through it. And, you know, as many times as we fall, we have to get back up because we just do. You just don't say, oh, I messed up, because we all mess up, okay? And we all feel the pain. But to get through the pain, you have to ride through the pain and you have to like just go through it and ask for help.
Ask for help. Ask for help.
So I can ask you, let's do one more question. Okay. How do you feel about PDA? I always want to say PDA, public displays of affection.
I love it.
I knew it.
I love
I knew it.
Now, like, if we're in a group of people, I never want anybody else to feel like out of place or anything.
I like that.
Yeah.
PDA with respect of others.
Yeah, I'm a in a PDA, like, there's different levels. You know, PDA, I want you to touch me. Like, touch my leg, touch my arm, make me feel like in a room full of people, we don't necessarily have to kiss or be loud with our love. But, like, that simple, just, like, putting your hand on me is PDA for me. You know, but, you know, if we're out having fun, you better stick your tongue down my throat.
Okay. And there you go, straight to the tongue. Okay. So I figured we would end this episode today doing the tongue plunge. It was something I did on the Podpalooza, which is releasing anything not serving us well, releasing any stressors, and come along and do this with us.
Yeah.
I'll do a count of 3, and then we're going to stick at our tongue, but we're going to make that sound that we just, what is that sound? It's just like a getting rid of it kind of sound, like an emotional vomiting,
like
of
gagging on the negativity.
Yes.
We're gagging
and
on the
like,
negativity today.
But not gagging, releasing it, letting it go. Okay, so let's all do that. That sound. So let's do that on 3.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right.
That was in harmony.
I think now that was in harmony. That was really good harmony.
It felt good.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for being on my show.
I can't thank you enough for being my life.
And I really hope you will come back again.
Yes.
You are a lovely, lovely guest. And there's a lot more to Jamie that we can get into another time. I want to thank my royal listeners for listening once more time, and hopefully a lot more times. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please follow, share, like, subscribe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave me a comment, write me a review. Let me know what you want to hear. I've got topics, and if you have something that maybe I haven't thought of, please let me know, and we will see you next time. So
thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Bye, and see you next time.